Hi, my name is Tracy. I had been seeing physicians over several years, asking for help with fatigue. Mainly fatigue. And they would tell me that I needed to exercise. Constantly asked if I was depressed, which I never felt depressed. I'm just emotional because it's been kind of a frustrating experience. So the big thing was fatigue, and they said, well, maybe you're depressed, maybe you need to exercise, change your diet. Excuse me, so sorry. And I did eventually try all of those things in the last year. I thought, okay, I'm going to take charge of my life. This is what they say is wrong. I'm going to start exercising, changing my diet, watching my carb intake. And I did all of those things, and I'm actually a healthcare provider, so I'm a nurse, and I knew that I wasn't seeing much change, and so deep down I knew there was something more going on. I'm not a medication taker, so I didn't, not that they even offered any of those things to me for fatigue, but there were so many things going on that they just kept piling up on top of each other over the years. I started having some brain fogginess the past year. I was having a difficult time catching a deep breath. So they did all the standard testing, chest x-ray, your lungs look good. They did find that I was anemic, and that is partly due to a fibroid where I have gotten heavy bleeding that has increased quite a bit over the years. So I have many, many layers, but the biggest thing that I came to Dr. Joddy for was I need to start with the exhaustion, because I was having a very difficult time just day-to-day living, being a mom, being a healthcare provider, being a spouse. So I wanted to get that in check. So like I said, I knew that there was something deeper going on that the medical professionals weren't addressing. They kept saying maybe it's the anemia. So I took the iron supplements. I was taking a ridiculous dose, daily dose that people were shocked when I told them how much I was taking. I didn't notice any results from that either, so I stopped taking it because, well, it's not doing anything for me, so why continue to take something that isn't helping me? So I had heard about Dr. Joddy through another mom who he had helped her daughter, and then come to find out, layers upon layers, I started hearing more and more people through my community that had come over to seek help from Dr. Joddy. And I thought, I need to take a different approach to things to get my life back, essentially. So I've been here for 7 treatments now, and I have to say that the exhaustion has definitely turned around. I wake up feeling refreshed. I used to sleep 14, 16 hours a day. I'd come home from work, I'd go to bed, and no matter how much I slept, it never got better. When just after the first treatment with Dr. Joddy, I felt like I woke up refreshed the next morning. My body just naturally woke up at 5:30. I felt great, and I've continued to wake up feeling great every day. I used to nap a lot. I haven't napped at all since I started seeing Dr. Joddy, so I feel like I've gotten some of my life back because I'm not spending so much time sleeping. And he's starting to work on other aspects beyond just the exhaustion. Having been here for 7 days now, he's working on my fibroid, the lymphatic, the pooling in my abdominal area, and my hips which I know when I walked into physicians' offices, they just saw a person who looked overweight and was tired all of the time. When I exercised regularly for about 8 months, people said I looked healthier, but I didn't lose any weight at all. And people said, well, you're building muscle mass. And I thought, it just doesn't seem right. I'm not noticing really much change in my body at all. And come to find out through Dr. Jati, essentially what looks like weight for me is actually fluid that's in my tissues. And so he's working on helping get my lymphatic system functioning again and helping to drain that fluid. So that's what we're working on now. So he got to the primary issue, which for me was exhaustion, and now we're working on other aspects. I was really pleased to know that the exhaustion, I have seen a complete turnaround in that. Especially the last couple of nights, I've slept like a baby. It's been wonderful. I don't recall waking in the past, but I do know I had very disrupted sleep. So I would sleep 14 or 16 hours, but it was restless. It wasn't good sleep. And so I've heard all sorts of excuses from physicians about the symptoms that I complained about. Well, it's this or it's that. And I just knew in my heart, no, I'm not depressed. No, I don't hardly eat at all. So how could I be overweight, for example? I exercised for many months. How come I still can't take a deep breath, for example? I think for Dr. Jati, there's definitely, it's really going back to basics. There's no medications involved. It's really, like you said, system care. So delving into where the problem is, and everything originates from our brain. Our brain is basically the motor that runs our body. And so if something isn't functioning properly there, it causes lots of other things to misfire, which for me as a healthcare provider makes complete sense. So I really appreciated not being someone who is wanting to take medications. I really appreciated the approach of non-medications. I can see results in different applications that he's done right away, seeing how my brain is responding. Everybody's different. Everybody's treatment's different and how they respond. For myself, I feel very blessed to be responding quickly and just absorbing everything like a sponge. I haven't needed a lot of downtime, so I've been just progressing through the different applications very, very quickly. That wasn't quite the case on the first 1 to perhaps 2, maybe day 3. My brain was getting fatigued, and so we had to take a small break. We focused on some other things, and it was amazing that just even in an hour of time of resting, my brain had recovered and said, okay, let's go again. Let's get back to work. Because my brain has been working hard to regulate basic functions like breathing, standing upright, balance, for example. So to me, it all makes sense. And I do feel that the applications, it was nice to be able to see after a few days that my body was responding and not fatiguing quite as much. And I don't feel as tired. I feel like I have a lot more energy. I feel refreshed, essentially. And it's because my brain is functioning better, and that's going all the way out to my fingertips. When I first came in, I was bringing a blanket because I was cold every day, and I haven't brought a blanket for several days now because I'm better able to regulate my body temperature because my motor essentially is working better and running my body more efficiently. I think if you've done everything out there that you could possibly try, for me, I felt like my gut was saying, this isn't right. This isn't normal. I'm too young to feel this way. I made a lot of excuses as well as physicians. You're a mom, you're busy, you do shift work. You're depressed. I wasn't depressed. You need to exercise, which I said, well, I'm a busy mom, which is difficult to find time. So then I was determined to feel better. So I made a point. I scheduled it on my calendar with no change in my health. So I just knew in my gut that this wasn't normal, this wasn't right, and I needed to do something because I didn't want to see my life wasting away anymore. I just put my foot down. I was all done. So if you're at that point where you've tried everything, I also felt like when the physicians would do testing and they said, well, like the chest x-ray, well, your lungs are good. I don't know why you can't get a deep breath. I never settled. I never took no for an answer. I knew that there was something deeper going on. So I think if have been out and seeked all the traditional medicine that you have, I would say, and you've not gotten the results that you wanted, then for me it was jumping in with both feet, a leap of faith. I knew people that had been helped by Dr. Jodie, and I trusted them. I knew that I knew that they had seen results quite quickly. This isn't something where you are coming back for medications you're on forever. With Dr. Jodie, the treatment time is very focused, and then you come back for maintenance. So for me, it was an investment into my health and into my future, which was important for me. Honestly, it's the way all people should be treated before we reach out to medications, surgeries. We want to heal ourselves from the inside outward. And if we do that, a lot of the things that are happening to our bodies will be healed. And I'm seeing that myself by the applications, by the homework, as Dr. Jodie calls it, which I never received any of that through conventional medicine. I know there aren't a lot of, there's no other Dr. Jodie in the world, but I do hope that I know from looking at his website, that he does education, and I just hope that he continues to train others so that we don't lose this wonderful contemporary medicine approach to treating the things that ail us. I've learned a lot about myself being here under Dr. Jodie's care. And he's helping me to make changes to improve and essentially to get my life back. So I can't thank him enough for that. And I know that my family will be very appreciative as well. So I look forward to continuing my treatment here, because in my situation, I've got many layers, and so we focus on one thing at a time, and so I just am going to keep delving until I feel that I am 100% whole.